think we're ready, Kevin.
Okay, so good afternoon. I apologize. We had some technical difficulties on our end with our connection. This is the Garrett County Board of Commissioners meeting on May 14th, 2020. It's in reference to Governor Hogan's executive order and the Maryland Strong Roadmap to Recovery. So Commissioner Edwards.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Knoll. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this special edition of the May 14th public meeting of the Board of Garrett County Commissioners, called specifically because of the stage 1 reopening plan mentioned by the governor yesterday. To that end, we would like to read into the record the amendments to the executive order that we put in place when this whole thing began. And then if my colleagues agree to the amended order, we'll take a motion in a second to adopt that at that time. So the amended executive order, the declaration of state of emergency, will read as follows. Whereas pursuant to section 14-111 of the Public Safety Article of the Annotated Code of Maryland, the chairman of the Board of County Commissioners for Garrett County, Maryland, acting as the principal executive officer for Garrett County, Maryland, is authorized to declare a local state of emergency. Whereas after consultation with representatives of the Garrett County Health Department, the county health officer, as well as other local public health personnel and the Garrett County Director of Emergency Management and Emergency Services, the chairman determined that effective March 22nd, 2020, a public health catastrophe had occurred or the threat thereof was imminent, and that a declaration of emergency as defined by state law is necessary to save lives, protect public health and safety, and to allow emergency agencies and first responders to thoroughly prepare for an eventuality related to public peace, health, safety, and protection of property. Whereas the declaration of a local state of emergency effective March 22nd, 2020 at 5 p.m. local time was further extended by executive order of the chairman on April 21st, 2020, and has remained in effect since that date. And whereas Larry Hogan, governor of the state of Maryland, has issued an executive order number 20-05-13-01, authorizing certain subdivisions of the state, including Garrett County, Maryland, to adopt and implement, if appropriate, Maryland's Strong Roadmap to Recovery Stage 1 low-risk activities as defined by the executive order. Now, therefore, I, Paul C. Edwards, chairman of the Board of County Commissioners for Garrett County, Maryland, acting in accordance with state law, the executive order, and as the principal executive officer of Garrett County, do hereby declare and proclaim that the local state of emergency in Garrett County, Maryland shall remain in effect, but shall be modified to reflect the adoption and to implement the provisions of the executive order and Maryland Strong Roadmap to Recovery Stage 1 low-risk activities as follows. The county, in consultation with the Garrett County Health Officer, that's the order of the health officer issued March 27, 2020, excuse me, closing all TVRU and vacation rental properties, B, and is hereby rescinded, and that subject to the provisions of the executive order and guidance of the Office of Legal Counsel, TVRU and vacation rental properties may reopen effective May 14, 2020, provided, however, that their operations comply with the following mandatory guidelines. Cleaning vacation rentals. All TVRU and vacation rental properties shall adopt, implement, and perform enhanced cleaning of the rental units as a condition of their TVRU or rental property license as follows. Each unit shall be cleaned using EPA or CDC approved disinfectant in high-touch, high-traffic areas throughout the rental unit. Each owner shall be responsible for cleaning of the rental unit consistent and in compliance with the vacation rental housekeeping professional standard of housekeeping during the COVID-19 pandemic and in manner consistent with guidelines from the Vacation Rental Management Association. An owner shall modify check-in and check-out times for the rental unit based on same-day turnaround, so there's more time between departure and arrival to properly clean their property with the enhanced cleaning procedures. Employees. All TVRU and vacation rental properties acting through their owners and managers shall adopt and implement programs to require employees to observe and perform their duties in respect to the TVRU or rental properties as a condition of their TVRU or rental property license as follows. To train staff for enhanced cleaning protocols, to equip and require staff to use proper personal protective equipment, advise employees if they are sick to stay home and to wash hands frequently. Guests. All TVRU and vacation rental properties shall adopt, implement, and perform to the extent possible guest practices that include as condition of the TVRU or rental property license the following: remote check-in, enhanced messaging to guests concerning the then existing health orders in effect in Garrett County, Maryland, to instruct guests to bring grocery items, paper products, and cleaning products with them in order to reduce the burden on the local community, and advise all guests of the requirements of Garrett County and the state of Maryland in respect to their obligations. While visiting our community, please practice social distancing. Wear a face mask is required in all retail and public establishments. To wash their hands or use hand sanitizer when visiting retail or public establishments. And if they feel ill with COVID-19 symptoms, please self-isolate. If they have questions regarding COVID-19 while visiting Garrett County, Maryland, they should call the Garrett County COVID-19 hotline at 301-334-7698. To please notify the owner or property manager of the TVRU or rental property if a guest tests positive for COVID-19 or develops signs or symptoms of the virus before checking out, so that the Garrett County Health Department, as well as cleaning staff, can be notified promptly. Occupancy. Occupancy of TVRU and rental property shall comply with the executive order, guidance from the Office of Legal Counsel, and order the health officer for Garrett County, Maryland, and limited to 10 non-family members. This order may be modified or revoked by the Board of County Commissioners or the chairman at any time, including the event of the following: an unexpected increase in hospitalizations or sustained increase in cases requiring intensive care, indications that people are disregarding physical distancing guidelines, and significant outbreaks of community transmission where contact tracing cannot establish the route of the spread. Is the order as amended? Any questions or comments by my colleagues? Hearing none, do we have a motion to approve the amendment to the executive order?
Paul, I'll make a motion that we approve the amended executive order.
All right, we have a motion. We have a second.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Question on a motion. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. At this time, I would like to clarify just a couple of things, and I know I read through that pretty quick, but we'll have that up on our website and available for people to see. And I'm going to turn it over to the health officer, Bob Stevens, here in just a second. But with the movement into stage one, just to clarify a few things that I think are the highlights here, and Jim and Larry and I think are important for everyone to remember. First of all, gatherings of more than 10 are still prohibited. Phase one does not change that. It still limits gatherings to 10 or less. Also, restaurants and bars are not being opened. They're still closed for in-house dining or even outside dining. There is, and they have been for a while, and you all are very aware of that. Curbside pickup delivery is still okay, but nothing has changed with restaurant and bars with this move into stage one. The travel ban has been lifted, so you may travel now freely throughout the state. Masks are still required. That's another thing that has not been rescinded. And the other businesses that now are able to open up, which are specifically mentioned in the governor's order, are opening to a limited capacity. I think most people know part of that is churches as well, and that they are being asked to open in a limited capacity also, and I'm sure Bob will go over that when he steps in and presents his stuff. So with that, hopefully everyone out there is doing well, and I'll turn it over to Bob Stevens of Garrett County Health Department. Bob?
Good afternoon, commissioners. As you are well aware, Garrett County has been very blessed to have very low numbers of infection, and we are in fact the lowest in the rate within the state, and that's the really good news. As you're well aware, the governor has moved to phase one in those communities that are allowed to open based on their local government and those who are at lower risk. But what I would like to reemphasize is that we are all still at some risk. There will be new transmissions from time to time. And our goal with all of this is to limit the spread of COVID-19. So I'll just, my health officer memorandum is a little shorter than what Commissioner Edwards read, but I will read that to you. And it's dated today, and it's regarding rescinding the March 26th, 2020 health officer order. I hereby rescind the March 26, 2020 Garrett County health officer order that prohibited the rental of transient vacation rental units in conjunction with Governor Larry Hogan's March 23rd, 2020 executive order that prohibited non-essential travel in Maryland as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. In the event of a resurgence of COVID-19 pandemic, such as a significant outbreak, statewide or local steps could be taken to address the spread of the disease. I want to thank you for your cooperation and patience during this extraordinary time. While the fight against the virus is a challenge, the steps we have taken together have helped us stop the spread of the disease in our community. And I would like to emphasize again what Commissioner Edwards, Chairman Edwards had indicated, that we really are moving from what I want to say are government imposed restrictions to personal responsibility. And those personal responsibility, it's all of our responsibility now to protect our neighbors, our family, and our friends through things like social distancing, washing our hands, limiting travel in the community. If you can make one trip to the grocery store instead of 5, that's 5 times as good. So please limit your travel around the community. Wear a face mask to protect your neighbors and community. I want to emphasize that the governor emphasized and put out a Maryland Strong Back to Business pledge. And this is a pledge that businesses can take to help ensure and assure the protection of their staff and their customers. I would encourage all of you to support those businesses who are taking that pledge. And hopefully they'll be posting it in their business locations. Again, if personal responsibility is not sufficient to stop the spread, then we'll be forced to go back into governmental interventions that could be on a state or local level. And I know that that's something that none of us wants. And so please, let's everybody work together to keep our community safe. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Knoll, you will have that order posted on our website for people to refer to, correct?
Yes, sir. We'll have the order as well as the health officer's order on our website, the health officer's website, as well as social media.
Excellent. Commissioner Titchnell, Commissioner Heimball, anything to add?
Not from me.
No, I don't have anything, Paul.
Bob, I'd just like to say on behalf of the county commissioners, we really appreciate everything that you've done and will continue to do. You've been a great resource during this time and a great servant to the public. And we all, speaking on behalf of all of Garrett County, really appreciate your efforts.
Thank you. It's a team effort.
All right. Having said all of that, do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Thank you all.